before you make that point, because
that
you said something
key.
that you need to respond to.
All right, very quickly.
When Chamberlain asked the question, he took us back to 2015 elections where there was underage voting.
Yes.
And the commission said investigations will be done.
Yes.
Have those investigations been completed?
No. We were on a retreat. We just finished a retreat on Saturday.
The investigations of 2015?
No.
Are they done?
No. We are not talking about 2015.
No. The investigation into the 2015 elections, are they done? Or this commission put that one aside?
The 2015 election, after the election, we had a comprehensive report
but that wasn't
about the 2015 election.
It wasn't made
public. Of course, it was made public. It is all printed.
Is it on your website?
Yes. We were in Uyo, and all media houses were present. They were all printed.
How about this point?
They were all printed.
Point about
now,
the underage voting.
Just hold on. Just hold on. Now, we have never, and I'm restating it here, that the voter register is a perfect document. But the point, which is incontrovertible, that we have made over time, is that compared to from 2011 up to the present moment, the credibility of the register we have compared to that of 1999, 2003, 2007 election, this register is of a remarkable difference in terms of credibility, in terms of confidence, because right now you no longer have foreigners' names as you used to have before. But at best, you could talk about duplication and the unacceptable incidents of underage registration.
So what's the result of the investigation?
The result is that there has been sustained efforts for cleaning up of the process by having to, because we are not doing what we call, you see, you require, even for instance, we don't have an MIR machine. Like when we go for competitions, you know, the cheating all over the place when our players and all of that. Now, what the commission has decided to do over time, that look, on account of these incidents in many places and dominant in some places, that you have to do what you call, you look at the picture, you do in one action. But the point I wanted to make, which is very significant to this question you've asked, is that when INEC had finished registration, there's a responsibility on the part of the Nigerian people, those who have registered, to come forward for the period of objections and claims, because we are expected under the law to paste every registration. And so all the ones that were done since April last year till December, at the end of every quarter, it will be pasted. We call on Nigerians to go there, go to the board, check the picture, make objections, make claims. But the aspect of responsibility for the Nigerian people, our people.
I see you carefully. I see you carefully use the word you are expected to, because we know that they all don't do it.
Yes.
They all don't paste it. Some of them don't.
We paste.
My point is, some of them don't even conduct the office. I mean, we've talked about this several times, that at that time, I remember I asked, I'm trying to remember, asked which Lagos State rec. They didn't do the office at the time. I'm just trying to remember which one. Okay, but that was some time ago. But also, that report for 2015 about underage voting was never made public. We never saw it, which is the question that Nata was asking you. We didn't see that part. But does it bother you that the SEC chairman was talking about the fact that, look, he's denying those images which you say incontrovertible? Yes. Does it bother? Because if you speak about integrity, should he be making that kind of statement when Aneka said, okay, we will investigate these images?
No, the SEC,
the current underage voting.
No, you referred to somebody.
The recent SEC.
Okay, SEC
for Kano.
Of Kano, right.
Does it bother you that there's denial coming through about those images that we've seen?
You see, picture don't tell lie. You see, let's get it right. As a people, as a nation, we must tell ourselves inconvenient truths. Now, in various parts of the country, there's always attempt to undermine the process. Whatever INEC is doing, there's every attempt to undermine the process. I recall that in 2011, I got a call while I was in Cross River from my own state data, in my own senatorial district, that some people were being carried from one community to another community. These are communities I know very well. The idea was that a community that was less populated, now they want to have more people than the other community more populated. I got a call. I called my colleague there immediately that this is what is going on in my community. I called the leaders and I said, this is unacceptable, you can't do that. One of them said, but it's being done in some other communities within the central district. And I said, a bad example cannot be a good example. If in the other community, they are scaling down our values, they are showing that they are primitive, we must not accept to do that this way.
Do you think that this...
And that applies to everywhere.
But do you think
that it will be shameful, it's a disgrace, it is savage, it is primitive
all that
for people to abuse children and bring them to be involved in the arena of even election voting.
You know,
there's a point the chairman made. There's a point the chairman made before you come to Gimba. There's a point the chairman made. And he said, let me not even preempt into that, because that's going to be the kernel of the panel he's trying to set up. But because he said it there, let me just repeat it. He said, was the voter register used in that election? Because if you look at some of the video, you just people doing thumb printing.
Yeah,
but accreditation precedes voting.
That's what I'm saying.
Accreditation precedes voting.
Mr. Guinea, because now
we are not seeing accreditation, but we are just seeing people thumb printing.
Mr. Guinea,
so I think on that issue, the appeal we want to make is that given that as a commission, as a body, recognizing the fact that it is better to recognize an error, correct it, than to preserve it.
Mr.
The panel that will be set up.
The fact that they are thumb printing continuously and we are not seeing videos of the accreditation, does that make the thumb printing right?
No, you're not getting the point I'm saying. I am saying that first and foremost, accreditation precedes voting. So if you don't see if you must accredit, you must use a voter register.
Yeah. Because
are you getting the point? You must read the voter to do accreditation.
You're deploying
we don't even see accreditation, but you are just seeing thumb printing. So the question is, was even a register used?
You're using the data capture.
Those are the things that will be determined by that.
You're using data captures, yes. The data capture machines to go through. And as a matter of fact, we're looking at the whole electronic process, even including the transmission of the results.
Right.
You've made mention of a particular scenario that you got in your place in Delta State, where people were being moved from one place to the other.
And it had to be stopped, and it was stopped.
That may not even stop in 2019 again. Be mindful of that. So what strategy are you putting in place to, for instance, say, check that kind of action or activity that is going on now that we are deploying electronic means to try to get the elections better?
Now, you see, we must have one standard for the country as an organization. But when you set standards, implementation in the various parts of the country can be a problem. Because if we all go by the implementation, and this is part of the meeting in Lagos State here, from Uyo meeting in December, and now in Lagos, that on the need for us to be committed to one template of implementation. And so, the incidents of multiple registration, they are in different forms. Sometimes the registration officer, in an attempt to capture, we do it over and again. If you check the same multiple as we displayed at the retreat, you'll find that somebody has been registered 3 times. But you could say that it was not deliberate because it's having the same VIN number. We also have cases of people who wore different dresses, like happened in my jurisdiction in Calabar. And from one place, 7, we went after him, and he was in charge of about 52 cards. Myself, the CP, the SSS, we went after him. He ran to Cameroon. It was also in my jurisdiction that we secured a conviction for 8 months. Somebody was convicted who was engaged by politicians to be in a hotel room to be doing what is clearly illegal. We got actionable information to was arrested. No, not on printing, during registration. What's
the standard
procedure? Because now the question is asked.